Okay, so this was the question 5. This is basically creating a new type of square. It was a promotion square in this case. Little bit like promoting your any piece to a queen chess, or getting a king in drafts. And it says exactly what to do. And your first job is to create a new class called promotion, which means if you land on one of these P's that you can see we're going to create, then we'll get another Mirza. Right, so let's jump to the code. We're going to inherit square. It says that. We've got the Kotler to play with, so we can see how that works. But our first job is what we're doing. There we go. Our first job is to create a new class. Inherits square, so that's nice and easy. And my next job is to copy and paste from the Kotler with a little tweak here. So this is just, the constructor, easy peasy, exactly as it is from the Kotler. I'm just working on the principle. This is what I'll need. Right. There's a few ways of doing this, but basically I need a method that is going to be called whenever a move is made. The Kotler uses get points for occupancy. But I think set piece is more appropriate. If you shoved it in get move for occupancy, we didn't tell you what to do, but I think that was probably the best thing to do. So we're going to use set piece, and effectively what we're going to do is say if the piece that we're shoving it in belongs to the same as us, then we're going to execute the code. So basically, do we own that promotion square? Because the promotion square belongs to a player. So normally we can't land on a piece that belongs to us. It won't let us. But because there isn't a piece in this square, we can now ask, does the square belong to us? Because when we instantiate this promotion square in a particular place, it will belong to a player or not. So, because we've actually set this value. So we're saying if this is, and by the way, this P is not P, it's player. It's not the character P. So if P belongs to, if the piece, if the square belongs to the player, and that's the same as the player that's currently playing, then this code, the next bit of code will be occupied. Otherwise, we're just going to ignore it. Because you're allowed to land in the opposition's promotion square, but you shouldn't do anything. I don't think I've explained that very well. Right, now what we've got to do is say, I could have probably done this all in one line, but I've really stretched it out. So we already know that we're in our own promotion square. So we're in our own promotion square. So now I need to create a Mirza. But I need to check which Mirza am I creating. Am I creating a player 1 Mirza or a player 2 Mirza? And in the question, it actually says you can use that. So it's kind of hinting how to do it. There are a couple of ways of doing it, but that's how to do it. So we're going to say that the piece in square, well, what's that? Let's have a look. So I have to go back up to find square. Piece in square. Okay, that's like a thing in square already. So we can use that. And we're just going to instantiate a new piece. call it a Merzer. And in fact, I've just copied and pasted this from somewhere else in the code where the original Merzers were created. Yes, I've just copied and pasted it from here, where we're actually just doing the hard coding of the thing. So I just found somewhere where a Merzer was already being created and nicked that. Right, I think that is it. So let me double check. Yeah. So now what we need to do is we need to actually use this and shove these promotion pieces into create board. Okie dokie, so here is create board, and we can see that we've got normal squares here, or we've got the cottlers, which are not quite hard coded but fairly hard coded. So let's bishy bashy bosh. Right, I quite like to put little comments in just so I'm keeping tabs of the code I'm shoving in. It's quite useful. Particularly if I'm shoving it into little intricate bits of code that I might forget later on. Okay, so we need to establish where these have to be. In fact, I might just remind you, because so they've got to be 1 1, 1 6, 6 1, and 6 6. And let's have a look. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And we probably shouldn't use, well, we've got to use those, that's fine. We probably just shouldn't use the hard-coded 6s because we've got that value held in number of columns. So 1 1, that needs to be a little p, and that needs to be player 2. And don't forget, player 2 is of course the 1 in the players array, because 0 is player 1 and 1 is player 2, just to make life confusing. So what are we actually doing here? We're instantiating a new promotion square. We're saying it belongs to, let's remind ourselves what this does. Promotion square. It belongs to a player and it has a certain symbol. And we're saying it belongs to player 1, sorry, it belongs to player 2 and it has the little p symbol, because that's what we're asked to do in the question. I did jump in, I assumed you knew what create board does. It basically whizzes through every single element of the board, and it either sets it as square or in this case a cotler, and now we're going to add in the promotion. Right, so that was 1 1 and that's a little p. If it's 1 6 but we're using number of columns, that's also a little p and it belongs to player 2. Right, we can now duplicate that and say if it's 6 1, then it's a big P and it belongs to player 1, and if it's 6 6, it's also a big P and belongs to player 1. And I think those are all of the options, and I think they're correct. But it is dead easy to test. Okay, brilliant. My P's are in the right place, so let's test this. Okay, I want to do as few moves as possible. It would be nice to have that Jazeer, because we're moving down, so I could move to there. That would be dead useful. So let's do that. Whoops. And we'll, the cow child is useless to us, so let's do that. And the nice thing is we still get to keep our move. Okay, so we'll move Jazeer now, obviously moving down the board. Okay, 2, right, we're going to move this one. Let's make sure I get it right. So this one, we're going to move it from 2-3, 1-2 forwards to 4-1. Yep. So 2-3, 2-4-1. Yeah, you got it right. Right, well, we might as well, we'll test both. Well, this has got a jazeer, so let's do the same with that. 3, and we'll move this one to here. So that's 5-4, 2, 3, 6. 5-4, 5-4, 2, 3, 6. Awesome. We managed to make 2 successful moves. Right. 1, 2. Can we move? Is there a 3 forwards? Let's have a quick look. Jazeer would be nice again, actually. Or a cuirassier would also be good. Oh, we've got a cuirassier, so let's use that. 2. And we're currently on 4-1. And we're going to move it forward to 6-1. As you can see, we've now got a Mirza. Okay, so for player 2, we've got a cuirassier on the move off, and we've got nothing else that will help us. Let's quickly take that offer. Who cares where we put it? 1. Right, let's use that cuirassier, and now I'm going to move 3-6 through to 1-6, and we've now tested an extra Mirza here and an extra Mirza here. Belt and braces. Whew, job done.